Do you remember recess time as kids when there was always one kid who'd have a cool toy and everybody wanted to play with him? And eventually he would let us play, but soon after he would begin adding rules to make sure he was the only one that was winning. He would say, now you have to hop on one leg, or I'm the only one that gets 2 turns. He didn't do this to make it fair for everybody. He did it just so that he would be in control and he'd be the one winning. Eventually, everybody would get tired of it and walk away, and he'd be left there standing with his cool toy. This reminds me of the current situation with the tariffs that we're facing in the United States. One day the tariffs are applied, another day they're taken off, one day the tariffs are increased or decreased, and now we're applying tariffs to everybody. This year on April 2nd, President Trump applied tariffs to almost all major countries, including some islands where apparently nobody lives there. And he's claiming this is to be called Liberation Day, as though it's supposed to be a grand celebration. But in reality, is the US saying, yes, we're gonna play the global trade game, but only by our rules. And if you don't like it, too bad. The problem is, just like the kid in the story I mentioned earlier, other countries might just get fed up and walk away. They could easily go and trade with China, or they could go and make their own trading alliances. This would leave America, just like the kid in the story, standing alone, isolated. So what is a tariff? Let's break it down. A tariff is a tax imposed on imported goods from other countries. It's supposed to protect local industries. So what this means is that the tariff is imposed on imported goods that are available in the market to purchase. That way Americans will buy local, they'll buy American. And here's what actually happens. The importer is not going to eat the cost of the tariff. They're going to pass it on to you. So that hoodie you wanted, the new cell phone, the laptop, or that new car, it's now going to cost more. You're going to be the one paying for that difference. Whether you call it a tax or a markup, at the end of the day, you're paying for it. President Trump and his supporters are trying to sell the dream that tariffs will make us all richer. But exactly how is that supposed to work? Because you're going to be paying more money. You're not getting money back. Now I get it. Here in America, a lot of people look up to the rich to the point that they'll believe anything they say. A rich person could tell them the sky is purple, and they'll look up and see the sky is blue, but they'll still say it's purple. That's how President Trump was able to sell the idea that tariffs are good. Not by using facts, but by using confidence, by using charm. And for some people, that's enough. They'll believe it. As a centrist, I like to look at both sides of the aisle to make sure that I get a good point of view, because the truth always lies in the middle. I went to the channel for Kyle Kalinske, and in his channel, he's saying that Trump is making America seem as though other countries view it as indispensable, as though they won't dare to make any trade moves without the United States.
Trump's actions rely on the notion that we are the indispensable nation and nobody can do anything without us ever, because we are the world reserve currency.
But that other countries are in fact already moving on. They are forming alliances among each other. They're trading more with China. And some of them are even considering no longer using the dollar as the reserve currency, which would have disastrous effects on all of us in the United States. And Kyle Kalinske continues by saying that during the recent downturns, rich people have gone in and come out better financially, while the rest of us have been left behind. He says that the rich have been bailed out, and that's the type of system that's being propped up currently. He says that we're trying to recreate the Gilded Age, where rich people controlled everything back in the 1890s. So then I went to Fox News to get the other side of the discussion. And one of the anchors, Harris Faulkner, she said, and I'm paraphrasing, something along the lines of that Americans should view this as a wartime, and that in the past, during wartime, people would sacrifice, and she described what people did during World War II and the sacrifices they made, and that people should view it the same now, that there might be some difficult times, but it's part of your patriotic duty to be able to endure it.
and those 401k people who are depending, those retirees, all of that, just talking plain speak with them. Look, when this nation used to go to war, people in this country would support the war effort with their materials at home and making things for weaponry and all of that. We got to do 100% buy-in over this bumpy period. Just communicate.
And this is very interesting to me because during the elections, a lot of people would say that they were doing it for the country because they wanted the country to get better, and that they were willing to go through tough times as long as the country was doing better. Even immigrants who came under the protection of Biden said that they would support Trump over Biden. But then as soon as some of the executive orders passed by President Trump affected them negatively, they changed their tune. They were no longer supporting Trump or his goals. They were saying that they regretted it. And there's so many videos of this that there's even now a hashtag called FAFO, which refers just to this, how people voted and they were so happy and they were claiming that they were patriots and they were claiming that they were patriotic. But as soon as those executive orders affected them negatively, they are now saying they regret their vote. And I'm bringing this up because, as I said, the Fox News anchor Harris Faulkner is calling for people to be patriotic. But as we've seen already on YouTube and other social media, people have actually complained and said that they regret their vote as soon as one of the executive orders being passed affect them in a negative way. So it seems that as soon as it costs them money, they're no longer calling themselves patriotic. It's easy to chant slogans, but as soon as your grocery bill goes up, a lot of people start changing their tune. Now, let's be clear. Both sides, left and right, are giving the story of tariffs their own spin because they know that at the end of the day, the more views they get, the more money they make. But the main point of the tariff story is that you're going to be paying more. Everybody is, from poor to rich. And while right now, we feel like the kid in the story who owns the toy that everybody wants, in the background, the other countries are starting to build their own alliances. They're starting to talk about moving away from us. And if we don't learn to play with others, we'll be left out of world trade. Just like the kid in the playground story who thought that because he had the toy, control was more important than connection. So let's be smarter than that. Let's ask questions. Let's read past the headlines. Because no slogan, no billionaire, no tariff can save us from the truth. If we play alone, we lose. Thank you for watching today's video, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time.